Namaste, Jai Bharat. When we speak of counter-terrorism, the happenings in last few days is a matter of concern, matter of interest. The Hezbollah terrorists were badly attacked. Officially, we don't know who, but presumably Israel. If you go back to the history of it, Israel had to fight Hamas. They had to fight because for Israel, it is simply the question of their existence. Details are known to everyone. It was simply a question of their existence. So they have considerably neutralized Hamas to considerable extent. And Hezbollah actually has nothing to do with Israel, but they began attacking Israel from the other side of their nation to support Hamas. And Hezbollah is sponsored by Iran. Now look at the situation. No nation is attacking Israel officially. No nation, neither Lebanon, nor Iran, nor anyone else, not Turkey. No one is attacking. So there is no war going on. There is no battle between nations here. But nations like Iran, for instance, are making the Hezbollah instrumental to their wishes, etc. So Hezbollah was attacking, and now Israel, supposed to be Israel, we are not sure, has reacted in a very particular way, unimaginably. They were badly attacked, and that too, when the pages explode. See, those who carry pages, they are insiders of Hezbollah. They are supplying these pages to their important people to communicate with them, to send them some messages so that they can either tell their subordinates or can execute them. So when such pages explode, let us understand that the important cadre of Hezbollah are getting neutralized. Pages exploded, then the walkie-talkies are exploding. Now no one is sure what's going to explode next. So that fear did set in the minds of terrorists. Now these instruments, pages no one is using in the world anymore, but they were specially made for this terrorist outfits. So it's very clear and very explicitly clear that those pages exploded are exploded with the terrorists. This has become very clear. Now, interestingly, there is, again, as I told you, there is no nations fighting with nations, but one nation fighting against terrorism. And fight against terrorism has got an all different scenario. Look at my nation, Bharat. We know what terrorism is. We have been experiencing terrorism. We still are experiencing terrorism. And we are one of the biggest takers of terrorism in the entire world. And when we say that people don't take it serious, there are people who would speak of human rights. We have been seeing Kashmir, the terrorist activities in Kashmir, for nothing. And the entire Pakistan was always making Kashmir a sentimental issue, as if Kashmir belongs to them. They know very well that Kashmir does not belong to them in given any criterion. But they would still speak Kashmir Benega Pakistan. They still have to say Kashmir Benega Pakistan to fool the people, to get their sentiments. And that has been continuing even today. And there are many other terrorist activities which took place in our nation. We know that these are all shadow wars. We don't know where the enemy is sitting, in which disguise he is sitting. See, there's a blast in Bombay during the previous government's time. Blasts used to be a normal phenomenon when the Congress was ruling Bharat. They were hand in hand, it appears now. Anyway, I am going to say something else actually, not this. So, the terrorist outfits are getting attacked, one thing. They have to be getting attacked, obviously. Now, let's think in a different direction. Except the Arabian Gulf countries, why the official Muslim societies are in continuous and constant turmoil? Why is it so? Of course, there is one reason that which we all know. There will be many outfits within Islamic tradition which are prone to terrorist activities and very kind of intolerant activities, who would consider every other as a kafir. These things are there. It means there will always be such groups in Islamic societies who can be turned into the path of terrorism. It's quite possible. But why is it that Islamic nations are continuously in turmoil except the AGCC countries? Why they are continuously in turmoil? Bangladesh was relatively peacefully existing with reasonably good democracy, and why suddenly Bangladesh had turned into fiasco, lost everything? They've gone back to square one. They're traveling backwards in time. In one sentence, they're simply traveling backwards in time. In all, given any perspective. Why is it? The question is why only Muslim nations are having such turmoils, and they're unstable. This kind of instability, unstable. They cannot make progress at this rate. Given this kind of things within the society, they really cannot make progress. They can't progress. Why? My question is that you should think, this is my doubt, I'm trying to express. Are there agencies in the world? Are there agencies in the world who would want these Islamic nations to become weak, to remain weak, to suffer from internal turmoils, problems? Are they interested in keeping them weak and never allowing them to become together strong, united, etc.? Are there such agencies in this world? This is the kind of doubt which I have. Otherwise, why every Islamic nation is attacked? Why no one wants them to be strong? Of course, we know that there are agencies out there who do not want Bharat to be strong. Of course, if Bharat is strong, nobody will lose anything. Our history is that, whether you trust us or not, we have not attacked anyone, we have not created a problem for anyone. Our strength is our strength. Only thing, we will have our say in our matters, not in somebody else's matters. That had been our consistent history. That had been our attitude. We are not dictators, or we have no dictators. So we know there are vested interested groups, there are people, there are agencies outside there who will try to use many inside aspects and agencies to create differences among the people of Bharat to weaken us. These people do not want Bharat to be strong. If there are agencies who do not want Bharat to be strong, who will do anything to weaken our nation by way of creating dichotomies and differences and creating conflict and contradictions and make people fight one another. If there are such agencies outside Don't you think it's natural that there will be many such agencies outside to weaken the Islamic nations, because they cannot predict what would be the attitude of an Islamic nation if it gets strong. Something like China, you cannot predict what China would do next. So, these things are not innocent. It's not that there is an Islamic terrorist group functioning in an Islamic society who are trying to capture power either as IS or the Taliban or as Jamaat, which is a new emerging thing. These things, these phenomena are not simply innocent as it appears to be. There must be people behind it, and the ultimate objective is to weaken this society. So, the Muslims all over the world will suffer. If Islamic nations are weak, the Muslims can only be comfortably living in places like Bharat, where they will get their due and they will live as their own land, because they are people of this land, sons of this soil. They can live comfortably. But when someone becomes an Islamic nation, they have to face this threat. No one loves Pakistan. No matter who preaches what, no one loves Pakistan. They don't want Pakistan to be strong. I am telling these agencies. They don't want any Islamic nations to be strong. They can't play with the Arab and Islamic nations because they are not concerned about other people's affairs primarily. They are only worried about themselves. And you cannot intervene in their society. They can't intervene the way they intervene in other societies. The system of governance is different. They have their religions intact. They won't impose their religion on others. But they won't accept also others. Even if you get converted into Islam, they would not take you also. So, the phenomena that's happening in the world is not very innocent. There must be some kind of agencies, groups of people behind it to make such things happen. This is typically getting reflected in the phenomenal activities of Bangladesh today. The Bengalis had no business to go for Jamaat-e-Islami's preachings. The Bengalis are Bengalis. So they should either be Bengalis or be Jamaat-e-Islami, one or this. They can't be both, because these things are contradiction in terms. So things are not simple. Things are not as innocent as they appear. One has to think. Let's see. We'll meet again with some other thoughts in another video. Till then, Namaste, Jai Bharat and Jai Sri Ram.